Alright, so the harsh truth behind human design manifestors. In this video, as a human design manifestor myself, I am going to explain what this type is, what human design is, what the different types are, but specifically how the human design manifestor aura operates, what their motors are, what their active and sort of inactive chakras and energy centers of the body are, what their strategy is, and how they operate within society. So basically, me sharing my experience, my knowledge about the human design manifestor as I am one myself. Now, let's get it started. So, the human design manifestor, and before I get into that, what is human design? It is a system which is based on astrology, modern physics, biology, the Chinese I Ching, and that was created by a man named Ra Uru Hu. And so he basically became visited by some sort of spirit or ghost who asked him if he was ready to work while he was living as pretty much like some homeless hippie in Ibiza, and he agreed to work. And so the spirit has basically kept him awake for a week straight with no food, water, or sleep, and that is how he was able to manifest that system. Ra'uruhu was a 5-1 manifester, and I am a 5-1 manifester myself. The manifestor in human design make up 8 to 9% of the human population, meaning it is one of the most rare types. The only type which is rarer are the reflectors, who make up less than 1% of the human population. And the reflector have every single energy center within their body open. So their aura is completely open to outside influence, which is the exact opposite of how the human design aura operates. The human design aura, if you are familiar with what an aura is, it is the electromagnetic field that like goes around a body and keeps you in balance, protects you from negative energy, certain astral spiritual entities which may want to, get into your auric field. Your aura is basically like your spiritual shield. It is how you interact with other people and the world on the spiritual energetic plane, you see. And so the human design aura is closed and repelling. So my aura pushes energy out of itself, you see? And I will explain why that is designed so. It is because the manifestors are the trailblazers, they are the initiators. They are supposed to lead and start things. And in order for them to do that, they sort of have to be this weird asshole kind of creature who do not care what people think, don't care what, they don't ask for permission, they don't wait for anybody's approval, they do not have to, hey, you think it's okay if I do this? You think it's a good idea if I do this? No, the human manifestor thinks about something and they go. They have a defined throat center, and the throat center is the center of manifestation because when you speak, that is how you sort of create things. And the manifestor is able to bring things closer to their desired reality just by speaking it into existence because they have this very powerful voice. Because before, modern times, as Ra Uruhu describes, and this is not me who came up with this, they used to be sort of the kings, the emperors, and the warriors of the world. And that's why they only ever had to initiate things. They had to get the ball rolling, and then it was the generators who make up 70% of the population and who are here to respond to information, to some sort of stimuli, and who are not able to just go ahead and sort of do it themselves mostly. They were the guys who then, picked up what the manifestor initiated and sort of did the heavy work. Nowadays, it's quite different because nowadays, not every manifestor is a king or an emperor. And so they may experience quite a bit of frustration because the sort of archetype is that the king who lost their kingdom. You see, we used to, as manifestors, rule this place. We were on top of, on top, and now, like, you go out in the world, you find a job, and most people are not aware of the fact that they're, a human design manifestor. And so that leads to a great deal of frustration and anger because manifestors and generators function completely differently. So if you're a human design manifestor, you need to understand that you exist on a completely different, you know, mission. Your existence is something completely different from what the average human experience is. So let me speak more about the closed off and repelling aura. So this is designed specifically for the purpose of when a human design manifestor has this impulse, this creative drive, this sort of how do you say it? This push to get something done, to create something, to invent something. The idea is that they are going to be faced with less resistance due to their repelling aura. This means that they do not have to wait for somebody's approval, they don't have to ask for permission, they're able to just go right ahead. And that is why a lot of people do not trust the human design manifestor, because in the harshest reality, the manifestor aura is screaming out, I do not need you. I do not rely on you. You see, get out of my way. That's basically what the aura is designed to do. My aura, the moment somebody enters my auric field, comes like a meter within me, my aura is doing anything it can to push people away. And that's because the manifestor experience is much less focused on human, connection, a normal, stable, happy life. It's more so that you are here to get things done and to really be the trailblazer and to change the world in some way and leave some sort of legacy behind and really be the trailblazer of humanity. And so, in order for you to achieve that as a manifestor, your aura needs to be repelling. You can't be listening to every single opinion about you. You can't be getting influenced by others because somebody's gonna say, oh no, you can't do this. You can't do whatever you want to do. And my aura's like, I'm pushing you out. Yes, I can. Maybe you can't, I can. So go away, you see? So yes, the manifestor have a defined motor leading to the throat center through a channel. This isn't supposed to make sense for you. I'm going to explain it in a very basic way now. What that means is that you as a manifestor are able to just wait and sort of chill. And at some point, the cosmos is going to give you a spiritual download, something that is your job to now get done. For example, a couple of months ago, I quit making YouTube videos and I was somewhat frustrated and just like studying my homeopathy. You see, I got like these diplomas back here. That's for my homeopathy stuff. And I had this entrepreneurial drive since I was 16. I wanted to, have my own business, make money, and also find a new creative pursuit because I felt like I have a great deal of ideas that I can't really share fully through YouTube even. And so I was walking on a mountain and I got this spiritual download that, yo, Nikita, write a book. And now it's reality. You see, The Keys to a Wizard's Treasure, available now. This is something I've been working on for the past 4 months. It's a spiritual book about the magic of numerology, astrology, how to navigate daily energies and yearly cycles using numerology, the strongest and weakest chakra of each zodiac, an in-depth explanation of what chakras are and how each chakra operates in a balanced and unbalanced state, how the zodiacs are connected to human anatomy, and also visualization, manifestation, themes such as human design, the soul's journey, reincarnation, the third eye or pineal gland, and basically all that interwoven with mythology, secret symbolism, my own life philosophy, my own experience regarding this whole thing, and, the occasional joke. And it is a 274-page book. And so this is like the typical manifestor activity. They get an impulse, and if you are not familiar, if you do not even know that you are a human design manifestor, you might shrug it off and be like, I don't deserve this idea, or I'm not good enough. I could have said, I never wrote a book before. I'm not ready for this. I'm not a professional author. I didn't study writing in university. I didn't, you know, I never created this before. But back then, I already understood, thankfully, the fact that I am a human design manifester, and this is what they are likely to experience within their life. They get this impulse, and it is basically the universe choosing them as a vessel to manifest something that is needed for the betterment of humanity, for the evolution of humanity. And I've had these spiritual ideas floating around in my head for a long time. And so this book itself, I believe that ideas, something like a book, a business, a project, I believe these things are living entities. And so this living entity wanted itself manifested through a human vessel, because a book cannot give birth to itself. It needs to find a human being. And so I was just chosen as a manifester, as a sort of vessel, as a translator, a receiver of this spiritual knowledge, so that I can use my manifestor power to bring it to the masses, to bring it into, physical reality, and sort of give birth to this creation. You see, that's some typical manifestor stuff. The only problem is that most manifestors do not even know that they are a manifestor, and they do not know the power they are capable of and the power they hold. And so they usually do not get things done. And that is when they become very frustrated and angry. And I will discuss this in a tiny bit. So, right, the manifestor strategy, because each human design type has a strategy, is to inform other people. And that is because this strategy is made up. Every single other type in human design, their strategy is more science based. With the manifestor, it's a recommendation based on how their energy operates. The manifestor is a train, just going and going and going, like we don't stop. And so the strategy to inform others is to simply create less resistance in our lives and create more peace and harmony for the people who we are surrounded by. For example, if I get an impulse to run to a mountain now, the manifestor, psyche is just gonna do it. So the moment I get an impulse, let me run to the gym, let me run to a mountain, I just do it. I don't wait for anyone, I don't ask for permission, I just do it. Because that's the throat chakra, instant manifestation, instant action. And so if I were to do that right now, the people who I am living with, for example, they might be like, is he upset? Where is he going? What is he doing? What is he up to? This powerful being with this repelling aura and ability for instant manifestation has just left the house and went somewhere. This makes them feel unsafe. This makes them feel disconnected from me, because they do not know what I'm up to. They don't know if they have done something wrong, if something is up with me. And that creates a lot of resistance for myself as the manifester and the people surrounding me. And so the strategy is to inform others. Because you are this powerful being, you are this powerful train that has no brakes, the only thing you can really do as a manifester is not, let people bring you down, slow you down, bring you to their level. Your only kind of strategy is to inform others. So, yo, guys, I'm going to the gym now, I'm going to the mountain. It is not you asking for permission, it is you being kind enough to inform what you are going to do anyway. You see? That's why I struggled with teachers for, growing up. Because I don't, the manifestor, they don't view a teacher, a boss at a job as some sort of authority figure, you see? And when I was working in a restaurant, my boss was the guy who would come up to me, ask me how to run his business, and then also have a desire to kind of dominate me with his sort of authority. And I never allowed that, because I understood, like, okay, I don't know what his type was, but I know I'm a manifester. I know, like, I basically run this place in a sense. At least that was the situation back then. Not saying that's, a constant theme in my life. I'm not some crazy guy. I am, but you get what I mean. But yeah, people are going to treat you, you know, differently because your aura is completely different from other people's. They're gonna view you as some sort of authority figure. At the same time, they're not gonna trust you. And at the same time, because they understand that you're powerful, they're gonna somehow wanna dominate over you or bring you down or make you comply with them. And that is why a manifester needs to get into something like entrepreneurship, where they can be independent, where they can create passive income for themselves, where they do not have to rely on a boss, on a management team, on employee, on co-workers, where they can really do what they want to do and be the sort of vessel of manifestation for the cosmos. Because we are not here to, slave away 10 hours a day for 40 years and die. We are here to change the world. We are here to create things, to get things started, and yeah, I mean, have an influence. It is a very influential type in human design. And when they are faced with resistance, when they are not able to do what they want to do, they are met with anger. The signature of the manifestor is anger because it is such a powerful energy, it's such a powerful force. And if it does not have an outlet, if I did not have a creative outlet, a physical outlet, such as going to the gym or yoga or stretching or running, the signature is anger because so much energy cannot be contained within a human being without an outflow, without an outlet. You see, otherwise it just transmutes into anger and frustration. And the signature of the manifestor, so sort of the opposite, is peace. So if you're a manifestor and you are pursuing your highest excitement, your sort of impulses, and you find yourself at peace, you find yourself comfortable with what you are doing, with your current situation, that means that you are fully in alignment with the cosmos, with what the cosmos wants you to be doing, and with your passion, your excitement, your authentic being. And that is so, so important because guess what? There are 8 to 9% of the human population who are manifestors as myself. And I am sure less than 1% of these people not only don't know the fact that they're a human design manifester, but they are so outside of spirituality, they're not even willing to believe in something like energy, chakras, auras, visualization, meditation, numerology, astrology, sort of like the very basic things, when you have your sort of first spiritual breakthroughs, when you understand that this existence is not just, physical body, that there's an energetic world outside it, that you are a spiritual entity having a physical experience and not a physical human being having spiritual experiences, you see? Um, where did I go with this? Yeah, and what does that mean? What does that mean for all the manifestors walking around the earth who do not know that they are here to initiate but not follow, that they are the leaders, that they are supposed to pursue their impulses and sort of the messages, the downloads which the universe gives them? What does that result with? That results with 8 to 9% of the human population who are angry beyond imagination, who are angry. You see, that is a big factor behind the anger, the frustration in the universe, because not in the universe, on this planet, because there is 9% of the human population who have this immeasurable power within themselves, and yet they are blind to it. They never discovered it for themselves. And that is going to be so destructive for everybody who they are around, because a manifester who doesn't know that they are a manifester, and even if you don't know you're a manifester, but you have this deep intuition and you're able to act on your impulses, act on your sort of spiritual downloads, then you can sort of more or less be in alignment with your authentic being. If you follow your excitement, follow your passion, go with the flow, basically. But since most people don't have any basic understanding of spirituality and don't even believe in things like that, what does that mean? There is a large majority, there's a big group of humans walking around who have immeasurable power, who are living completely you know, not in alignment with how they should be living, how they should be acting, and the role they should be playing for humanity. And they are angry, and they basically are able to create a great deal of damage for the world. For example, Vladimir Putin is a 5-1 manifester like me. Jordan Peterson is a manifester. And you see, they're influential, powerful creatures, but with the potential for great creation and manifestation according to the law of polarity, because everything in the universe is as within, so without, as above, so below. Carl Jung, no tree can reach heaven unless its roots reach down to hell. With this sort of vibe, with this idea, that means that with great potential for creation, there is an equal potential for destruction. You see, I am recording this, and I'm into numerology and stuff. And today is a 22 day because it's the 4th of September. September is the ninth month. 2025 is a 9 universal year. 9 plus 9 is 18, plus 4 results in 22. It is a master number. And it is the master builder of numerology. And people who are master builders, who was a 22 life path? I believe George Washington was born on the 22nd. Richard Branson with the Virgin Company, he is a 22 life path, I believe, or born on the 22nd. A lot of bodybuilders are born on the 22nd because they build up their body. And so these people have a great potential for creation, but an equal potential for destruction. So they're likely to have a lot of vices, destructive tendencies, negative thought loops, things like that. And it's the same exact principle we're working with as a human design manifester. A great potential for creation, equal great potential for destruction. And so imagine there is a great, I'm explaining the same point, for the third time already, but a lot of people are living outside of this alignment. And okay, what else can I speak about? I can speak about the fact that manifestors have a 2080 rest cycle, according to Ra Uruhu, the creator of the system. What that means is that manifestors, and that sounds super arrogant, that sounds like I'm on some kind of pedestal, and I'm not the guy who created this system, I'm not the guy who gave this information, I'm just studying it. I'm just consuming this information and now communicating it to you through my experience. So 20% of the time, the manifestor should be working, and by working, it's initiating, and 80% of the time, they should be resting. Why is that? It is because they do not have a defined sacral center. The generator, which make up 70% of the human population, they have a defined sacral center. That means that they own, they are comfortable, they are aware, they sort of own this center. They have power in that center. They understand that center, you see? And the sacral center is the center of sexuality. And sexual energy is so strongly tied to creative energy and to your overall life force, your vitality as a human being. And that's why generators, because they have this greater sexual, sacral chakra energy, they are able to work 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, If I was a generator, I would be working at an hourly wage, 13 hours a day, 6 days a week, make a bunch of money, do that, right? But as a manifester, when I did work 12, 13 hours a day, 6 days a week, in a restaurant, for a corporation, for a job on an hourly wage, after a certain time, even though I was making insane amounts of money, what ends up happening is burnout. Because as a manifester, you're more the initiator. You get the ball rolling. You're not here to, slave away like crazy. That sounds arrogant of me once again. I am not here. I didn't create the system. I didn't write this information down. I studied it, you see. And so, as an example, the idea behind initiating. So I create a book, right? I wrote a book. Then I have to, published it. I published it. I found the right company. I connected it with the payment processor, all that fancy stuff. Now I am marketing it on social media, on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. I mention it in every video, right? And so the idea is that I am working on creating like a passive income sort of thing where obviously I'm working, I am initiating, but the idea is that eventually my the thing I was visualizing, the goal I have is for me to one day wake up and have sales of my book while I was sleeping, meaning I am making money while I'm sleeping because I built this great castle, I built this great foundation that is now working for me, where I am able to sleep and make money passively. Obviously, I will always have to continue marketing, all this wonderful stuff, but that is the ideal scenario for a manifester, you see? Because if a manifester achieves something like passive income or a successful business, then they're going to be able to like breathe, because manifestors are ambitious. They are here to get things done. And so um, they're supposed to almost be in this relaxed state usually. Otherwise, their energy just becomes like scrambled eggs. It gets scattered all over the place, you see. And so, if they're in this focused, concentrated, yet peaceful scenario, which they can achieve if they do not have to work a stressful 9 to 5 with a toxic boss, coworkers, all of that, then they are really able to act as this channel for the cosmos to bring ideas into physical reality, to take from the spiritual, from the mental plane, and manifest it, bring it into reality. You see, that is their job, that is their mission. And all the other types do not understand them. I had a great deal of resistance in my childhood from friends, parents, teachers, because my aura is completely different from everybody else's. And my aura is also arrogant. My aura literally says, I don't need you, bro. I don't need y'all. And so that means that a manifester attracts a lot of hate, jealousy, or they are simply misunderstood and outcasted from friend groups, from society, from the company, whatever it may be. A very Let me give you two examples of that. So the lady who introduced me to this system is a human design manifester as well. And she told me like about this whole system, the fact that she's a manifester, all this cool stuff. And before I could go home and search my type up and find out that I'm a manifester myself, I came close to her and I felt this wave of energy pushing me away. So this is Nikita, right? This is Nikita. This is the lovely manifestor lady. I walked up to her and I felt like boom, like step back. It was almost like the spiritual energy, like aura sort of hit me and was like, stay back, you see? And that is because she's a manifester, I'm a manifester. We both have repelling auras. We both push energy out, you see? We both repel others. And so we are like two poles, two opposite poles, no, two of the same poles of a magnet who walked up to each other and pushed each other away. And that is the first experience with human design I've had. And that is what really got me thinking like, whoa, there is something behind it. Because I never felt this push of energy, with any other type. And she's a manifester. I found out I'm a manifester. That made sense to me. What else? When I was in the military, I served in the army, in the infantry for 10 months as a breacher, working with explosives, basically blowing things to pieces. It was super fun. But there, my entire group, like 40 men, we are always walking around with a fully loaded gun with 9 bullets, a machine gun with 20 bullets, and another magazine with 20 bullets. So each one of us is walking around dangerous, basically. And a lot of people, for the longest time in the military, did not trust me and were scared of me. Even though I'm a skinny dude, I am not some sort of big monster who dominates over everybody. I am actually very nice to people. I make jokes. I play the Joker in large friend groups, in large, social gatherings. I play the trickster, the Joker archetype because I don't, take things as seriously. I like being funny. I like saying stupid things, making inappropriate comments, and just being myself, really. I'm not going to betray myself to fit in. I'm going to be myself. And so this energy already stands out. But because I am a manifester and people do not see within my aura, meaning I am like a mystery box. Because they don't see within my aura on the spiritual energetic level, these people never knew whether they could trust me or not. I'm walking around with a machine gun, with a gun, with explosives, and people would literally give me like looks as if I'm some sort of demon, you see, because it's not because I'm scary, it's not because I'm mean, it's not because I'm a psychopath. It is because they don't have access to what is going on in my psyche. You see, generators, who make up 70% of the population, they have this huge aura, this huge enveloping aura. And that is because this aura is designed to pick up on signals. It's designed to catch energy so that they are able to react to this energy, take an impulse from something like a manifestor or another generator and respond to it. They are not good at initiating, they're good at responding, you see. And that's why they need to have this huge, open, warm aura. And the manifestor aura is closed, it's cold, it's like, it's a bit soulless, one may say, you see. And it gives off sort of psycho vibes, you see. And that's why people like very often throughout my life did not trust me, did not, were even scared of me or intimidated by me, or simply thought I was some kind of crazy guy, or they just didn't like me. You see, it's a powerful energy, and that's why people either are very strongly attracted to it, but very often they're like, I don't trust this guy, I don't like this guy, like stay away from me, right? You weird manifester with your closed aura where I have no idea what you're thinking, what you're about to do, how you're gonna do it without informing me. Like, it's just not the most comfortable energy to be around, which is basically why I found myself isolated for a vast majority of my, adult life now, because I am here to get things done. I'm not here to wait. I'm not here to respond. I'm not here to have a bunch of cute friendships and relationships and text people good morning and good night and, have this like happy life almost. I'm here to be a vessel for magic. I'm here to create things, you see, and I'm willing to sacrifice many aspects of my life to be this vessel that has the potential to change the world. And so that's a bit about the manifester. Did I talk about everything? I think I talked about quite a bit, you see. Yeah, I'm gonna make a video about the generator, the reflector, the projector, the whole system in itself. I find it very fascinating. I hope you could learn something. And go on the website humdes.com, humdes.com, so humandesign.com. Put in the information it asks of you, your sort of birth, date, time, name, location. Then you are going to find out what your human design chart is, what type you are, and this information is going to change your life as it has changed my life. And so I'm gonna put a link to it in my bio if you wanna have access to all the spiritual knowledge which I have been working on and bringing into reality during the last 4 months. The Keys to a Wizard's Treasure out now. It is also going to change your life. You will never view the world the same way ever again. I am arrogant, but I am also confident enough to say that it is going to change your life. I worked too hard to not believe that myself. And so check it out. I hope you could learn something from this video. I'm sorry if I sounded like a bit of a crazy manifester, because that's who we are. We are this crazy force that is not supposed to be understood, but we are here to influence, change the world. And I hope I could teach you something, help you, or inform you in some way, shape, or form with this video. Have a great day. Check out your type. It is going to change your life. Check out my book. It is going to change your life. Wizard Nikita out. Thank you.